Hey guys, I have blue in my hair. Oh! I dyed it in support of my high school football team. In case any of you are going to be like, oh my god, you have blue in your hair, what'd you do? Yeah, that's why I did it. So I'm making this video today to address a really important and under-addressed issue, and that is mental disorders. And this was recently brought to my attention by the tragic death of an incredible man, an extraordinary actor and comedian by the name of Robin Williams, who was found dead at only 63 years old, and they suspect it was a suicide due to his ongoing struggle with depression. And I just want to talk about the stigmas and misconceptions about mental disorders, and maybe shine a little bit of light on this particular subject from a personal standpoint. And yeah, here goes. So a little bit of background information for you guys. I am diagnosed with anxiety and depression. This showed up most obviously about a year ago. I was having panic attacks 3 or 4 times a week. I lost 10 pounds because I never wanted to eat because I was so nauseous from being nervous all the time. I never wanted to get out of bed or do anything or go anywhere or hang out with anyone, and it was really awful, and I felt really alone even when people swore they were there for me, and I was really selfish because all I could focus on was how miserable I was, so I let a lot of people down who were really important to me. And so there you go. To any of you who are wondering how I could possibly have any credit to talk about this subject, that's it. I personally struggle with it myself. So here are some misconceptions about mental disorders. One of them is that if you have a mental disorder, you must be weird or a freak. I am weird, but it's not because I have a mental disorder. Some people are freaks. That doesn't mean they have a mental disorder. Some people are freaks and they have a mental disorder. That doesn't mean they're freaks because of their mental disorder. They don't necessarily go hand in hand. People who are schizophrenic are not nutcases. They don't hear voices because they're crazy. It's an actual mental disorder that needs to be treated, but I guarantee you they won't get it treated if everyone goes around whispering behind their backs about how nuts they are, because that's really terrible and awful and ignorant. People who wash their hands 50 times a day aren't freaks because they wash their hands so much. It's something they are compelled to do because they have obsessive compulsive disorder and they need to do it, and that's not their fault. They were born with that. So laughing at how often they have to wash their hands or commenting on how dry their hands are from washing them all the time is no way to fix that problem. That just makes it worse. That just makes them feel worse about it. Try and be empathetic instead of joking about something because it makes you uncomfortable because you don't know anything about it. Number 2 is that people with mental disorders just need to suck it up. They just need to tough it out. Get over it. This one is more common with older people. People from my parents' generation and my grandparents' generation talk about how when they were kids, there was no such thing as depression or OCD or ADHD. You just dealt with it, and you acted right if you didn't want to be punished or whatever. How well do you think that worked? They probably hid it better after you told them that if they didn't stop washing their hands so much, you were going to beat them with a belt. They probably didn't wash their hands in front of you anymore, but I bet you they still wash their hands. And I bet you people with anxiety disorders didn't stop having panic attacks when people told them to suck it up and get over it. They probably just started having quieter panic attacks, which is somehow even sadder to me. That's no way to deal with a mental disorder, telling somebody to suck it up and get over it. That's not how it works. It's not like you have a bad day and oops, you're depressed. That's not how it works. Something is wrong in your brain. Something doesn't quite work right. It causes you to be depressed, and sometimes you need psychotherapy, or sometimes you need medication, or sometimes you need both to deal with it. It'd be like telling somebody who had a broken leg to walk it off or fix it themselves. I guarantee you if they try to fix it themselves, they're going to do it wrong. Because you have to be a doctor to fix a broken leg. You have to go through years and years of medical training to fix a broken leg. It's the same with mental disorders. You have to go through years and years and years of medical school to be able to fix and diagnose and treat mental disorders. You need a PhD in psychiatry. Not just any old somebody can deal with a mental disorder. That's not how it works. So don't you go around pointing at people and telling them to suck it up. You're not going to fix anything. Just going to make it worse. That person's just not going to want to confide in you anymore about how miserable they are, and you're going to think you fixed everything, but really all they're doing is hiding it better. So don't do that. You're just making it harder. Because on top of being miserable and unmotivated and worrying all the time and being your worst enemy, now you have to hide it from people too, which is even more difficult. Because when you feel that way, all you want to do is curl up into a ball and pretend that you're asleep all the time. But you can't do that because that's weird. That makes you a freak. So you need to put on a mask. You need to pretend like you're a normal person. Otherwise, people will point and laugh at you. And that is terrible. Nobody should have to pretend that they're not upset when they are. If you stub your toe, and it hurts a lot, and then you're in the middle of a business meeting, and you can't scream obscenities, that is a different story. But if you are waking up every morning and wishing that you could go right back to bed, and not, the normal one where you're like, oh my god, I don't want to get up, I'm so tired, but I mean like the, oh my god, I'm dreading the day ahead of me, I wish I could stay in bed 24/7 because I hate people and going anywhere and doing things. That's something you need to get treated, not something you should have to hide from everyone you know and love. So, I know a lot of people who, are scared to open their mouth in social situations because they're afraid they're going to say something stupid, or, wash their hands 50 times a day, or have panic attacks in the quiet of their bedroom because they're too afraid to tell their parents or their friends or their family. People who are not lazy, they just never want to do anything because their thirst for life has completely dried up, and they haven't gotten help yet because of the horrible stigma and misconceptions just bouncing around all over our country about mental disorders. And I want to tell those people that I see you, and that I'm sorry, and that someday we will live in a better place where people will know not to point and laugh at somebody who hears voices or tell somebody to suck it up when they don't even want to live anymore. Someday we will live in that world, and I'm sorry that we don't right now, and that sucks. But I'm here for you. I will never lose patience for you because you're not immediately getting better like I want you to. I will never get angry at you for not wanting to get out of bed in the morning because I know that feeling and it's awful. And I will continue to be here for you even when you're awful to me because you're so stressed out all the time that you never want to speak to me. I'll be here. Even if you don't want me to be. I'll be patient. I'll wait. And for those of you who weren't very educated about mental disorders when you clicked on this video, I hope that this has changed your views on some things, and that maybe you have a different look on the way that this works. And for those of you who still don't believe that mental disorders are real or that they can be treated by a doctor, then please keep that to yourself. I don't need that on this video, and I don't need to argue with you about it because nothing I say is going to change your mind, and nothing you say is going to change my mind. So let's both leave here having a better day than we would if that happened. And on that note, I will tell you guys goodbye, and I will say that I will probably be seeing you more soon, and that I hope you have a wonderful life. Love you guys.